Care U100 Independence Bowl, Louisiana Monroe versus Ohio. Louisiana Monroe is 7-point favorites. I like them to win 21-16. This this is an interesting one. This is two teams that started off really well, and then they kind of got brought back down to earth when they started playing in their conferences and things like that. Both finished 8-4. Both started with higher hopes, but I think Louisiana Monroe, kind of like East Carolina, get that benefit from playing really good early games. Arkansas and Auburn and Baylor, and playing those games close. Ohio had the benefit of beating Penn State early in the year, but I think Louisiana Monroe is more ready for this kind of football game, a bowl game, and that's how I like it. That's why I like them to win the football game. This is a close one. The next one, Russell Athletic Bowl, Rutgers versus Virginia Tech. This is an extremely interesting one. Virginia Tech started off real high early in the year. Rutgers have been pleasantly good, especially on defense. But you know what? I like Rutgers here. Virginia Tech are 2.5-point favorites. I like Rutgers to win 24-20. And I think Rutgers' defense really wins this football game. I think they have enough on offense to score a decent amount of points. Virginia Tech's defense isn't great, but Virginia Tech really relies on how well they run the ball. And against the Rutgers defense, making them throw it, I think Rutgers pulls this one out. Next, Meineke Car Care Bowl of Texas. Texas Tech versus Minnesota. Tech are 12.5-point favorites. I like them to win this game 45-20. And there are plenty of reasons for that. Texas Tech, one's a better football team. Two, they're more balanced. Three, this game's in Texas. I mean, Texas Tech have to go nowhere to play this bowl game. Minnesota have to go across the country in a game that doesn't mean too much. I mean, it's a bowl game, obviously, but, you know, there aren't going to be too many fans from Minnesota showing up. If the place is packed, it'll be for Texas Tech. And it's going to be a huge advantage to them, and I like them to win big. The Bell Helicopter Armed Forces Bowl, Rice versus Air Force. This is an interesting one. Air Force are 1-point favorite. They're both 6-6, these teams. They're both really similar teams. They both can move the ball well. Air Force obviously run the ball much better, but they also give up a lot of points on defense. And I like this. I like Rice to win this game 42-21, or 42-41, sorry. 42-41, and a nail biter, I guess you can call it. They win this game. This one comes down really to who can keep the ball better, who can, no turnovers, you know, staying on the field on third down, things of that nature will win this football game. New Era Pinstripe Bowl, West Virginia versus Syracuse. West Virginia are 4-point favorites here. I like Syracuse, right? 42-38. I think Syracuse have had a better run of form. Syracuse likes to put up a lot of points especially against the West Virginia team that has no defense whatsoever. If you watch West Virginia play football, like if you're throwing the ball against West Virginia, I mean, sometimes it seems as if the corners just don't know what they're doing. Throwing the ball against a team like West Virginia is guaranteeing you points. West Virginia started off really well, but they've fallen back down to earth. As of late, they've been playing pretty poorly, and I think that continues in the bowl. And nothing like opening a bowl game in New York and having a New York team in there, you know. Who's going to have a lot of support for Syracuse, and I just think Syracuse wins this football game. Next, we got a Kraft Fight Hunger Bowl, Navy versus Arizona State. And at the time I was getting the lines, there were no lines on this game. I don't really know why. But I like Arizona State to win this game, 42-24. Navy has a really poor defense, and the offense is pretty good. But against an Arizona State team that has a good defense and can hold people off the board, I don't think Navy really has a chance in this game because Arizona are going to get their points. What comes down to this is how well Navy can score, and I don't think they're going to score too well in this game. So I like Navy to get beat here 42-24 by Arizona State. Next, we got the Valero Alamo Bowl. Oregon State and Texas. Oregon State 2-point favorites here. I like them to cover. I like them winning 34-28. I'd like Oregon State's defense, very tough. Don't give up any points. Well, they give up points, obviously, but not too many. And a Texas team that likes to give up points on defense. Defense has been disappointing this year. And with Texas with an offense that's run by a quarterback that likes to, they like to switch quarterbacks. None of the two quarterbacks are too great. They just switched, I think, to McCoy's brother, I believe. Whoever's running it, none of them are that great. Whoever's at quarterback is going to be shaky. But, whatever. I like Texas to lose this game. Buffalo Wild Wings Bowl, TCU, Michigan State. This could be a fun one for those who like defensive kind of things. I like TCU. They're 2.5-point favorites. I like them to win 17-14. I just think TCU is the better football team. I think they got a better defense, and I think they keep Michigan State off the board and win this one and a tight one. This one, Franklin American Mortgage Music City Bowl. Jesus. I like North Carolina State and Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt is 7-point favorites. I like them to win 34-24. And the only reason for that, I think Vanderbilt's a tougher team. I think they move the ball better. And I think North Carolina State, they're pretty good. I think that win over Florida State was very fluky, it seems. Especially at home at night, that sort of stuff. I like Vanderbilt to win this game by 10 or so. The Hyundai Sun Bowl. USC versus Georgia Tech. USC are 10-point favorites. I like them to win 52-28. I just think there's too much on offense for USC right now. Matt Barkley's last game. I don't really think Matt Barkley's that great. But with wide receivers that they have, Jesus. I think they score plenty of points. Georgia Tech's going to get their fair share because USC's D is not that great. But, I like USC by 14. Next, AutoZone Liberty Bowl, Tulsa and Iowa State. This one was kind of tight for me for a little bit. I was going back and forth on this. And then I stopped going back and forth, and I have Iowa State winning this game 42-31. Iowa State are 1-point favorite for anyone interested. I just think Iowa State are better on D. They got a pretty decent defense, and I think the offense can keep up with a Tulsa team that can give up points. I think Iowa State are built for games like this, especially playing in the Big 12, where they get to play tougher opponents all year long. And I just think Tulsa are on the rise. They're doing a real good job over there. But not this year. I think I like Iowa State to win this bowl game. Next, Chick-fil-A Bowl. This is an interesting game. Clemson versus LSU. Clemson can put up points. All right. LSU are 3.5-point favorites. I like them to win 38-20 or 31-28. LSU winning that game. LSU have a good D, but Clemson can put up points. The deal in this game, I think, for me, is how Clemson's offense does against LSU's defense. If LSU's defense can shut down the run, make them pass, this can be a runaway for LSU. But if LSU don't get what they want against Clemson's offense, and they force LSU to throw the ball, Clemson can easily win this football game. But I think LSU sneak away with this one. The TaxSlayer.com. Gator Bowl, Mississippi State and Northwestern. Mississippi State 2-point favorites here, but I like Northwestern to win this game 24-21. They started 7-0. Mississippi State finished 8-4. They've been on a horrible run as of late. It seemed they started playing real opponents. They started off 7-0 without really beating anybody, and then they lost 4 or 5 to some good SEC opponents. And Northwestern like to dictate tempo. They slow the game down. They play tough on defense, run the ball on offense, and I think that wins this game for them. Heart of Dallas Bowl, Purdue and Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State are 16.5-point favorites. I like Oklahoma State to run away with this one, 63-24. I think it's unfortunate Purdue got put in this bowl game. Oklahoma State are way too good on offense, and Purdue are awful on offense. Even if Oklahoma State like to give up points, I think that Oklahoma State score plenty, move the ball at will, and Purdue won't be able to keep up. There's no way this football team keeps up with Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State run away with this game. If I were betting, I would take OSU in the spread. That seems like a gift to me.